Hi foodies, welcome to my very first episode of Cooking with Destiny. Today we'll be making Baked Ziti, but before we get started on this video, please hit the subscribe button. Baked Ziti is one of my favorite Italian dishes. It tastes so amazing, it's flavorful, and not to mention, this is one of my most viral recipes on Instagram and TikTok, so you would want to give this a try. My ingredients, I have Parmesan cheese, whole mozzarella cheese, salted butter, Italian sausage, ground beef, sugar, heavy cream, minced garlic, parsley, olive oil. I have my seasonings. I have an onion, crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, rigatoni pasta, and tomato basil sauce. First, we're going to start by dicing up half an onion. Now that I'm done cutting up my onions, I'm going to saute them in the pot. I'm going to turn my pot on over low to medium heat. Now I'm going to go in with a little olive oil to saute my onions. I'm just going to stir my onions until they're translucent for about 6 to 8 minutes maybe. While my onions are still sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking my noodles. I'm using some water to fill the pot about halfway. Now that my water is filled, I'm going to turn my heat up to high and let the water boil. So while my onions are still cooking, I'm going in with a pound of ground beef and I'm going to go in with a pound of Italian sausage. I'm breaking my Italian sausage and ground beef down. So while my meat is still cooking, I'm going to pour my noodles into my boiling water. Very slowly because the water is so hot. Now I'm going to put a little olive oil into my pasta water so my noodles don't stick. Just need a little cap full. Just going to give my noodles a little stir, not too much. Now that my meat is fully cooked, I'm about to drain it. Let's make sure that grease is fully out of the meat. Let's fully drain the grease. So now I'm placing my meat back into my pot. My noodles are almost done cooking and I'm going to drain them to get all the pasta water out. Next, I'm going to add in some tomato basil sauce to my meat. Now I'm going in with a small can of diced tomatoes. Next, I'm going in with a small can of crushed tomatoes. Once it's fully mixed, I'm going to turn my heat to medium and let that simmer for about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to go in with a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. You can add more as you go. I'm adding a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic and herb seasoning, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of red crushed pepper flakes for a little spice, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm going to add 1/2 tablespoon of sugar to get rid of the acid taste with tomatoes. Now I'm going to mix up my seasonings real good into my pasta sauce. And I'm going to let that simmer for about 10 minutes over medium heat. While my pasta sauce is still simmering, we're going to start on our Alfredo sauce. So now that my stove is set to medium heat, I'm going to melt 1 stick of butter. So now that my butter is fully melted, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And I'm going to let that cook for about 2 minutes. Okay, now that the 2 minutes is up, I'm going to add in 1 1/2 cups of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to stir that around a little bit. Next, I'm going to add in a bag of Parmesan cheese. This is about 1 1/2 cups of Parmesan cheese. Now I'm going to give that a nice stir until my cheese is fully melted into my butter and heavy cream. So now that my Parmesan cheese is fully melted, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of red crushed pepper flakes, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Now I'm just going to mix my seasonings in, and the Alfredo sauce is done. So now I'm going to preheat my oven to 400. I'm going to stir my pasta sauce a little and reduce the heat to low. And now I'm going to add in my pasta noodles and mix my pasta noodles into my pasta sauce. So while the oven is preheating, I'm pouring in my pasta into a baking dish. I'm going to spread it out evenly. And now I'm going to pour my Alfredo sauce onto my pasta. Now I'm going to spread some mozzarella cheese onto my pasta. Okay, so now I'm going to top it with some parsley. Now that my oven is set to 400, I'm going to bake this uncovered for about 12 to 14 minutes. This looks so amazing. Oh, wow. Look at that. Now I'm gonna plate it. Okay, time for the taste test. It's so hot. It tastes amazing. You will have to give this recipe a try.